Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Remotely Speaking. This is episode 8, and we are still in our block series on enabling countries to attract remote workers and facilitate better remote working. So this week, our very, very special guest is Emma El-Karout, who is founder and CEO of One Circle, which is a platform where organizations or individuals can hire HR consultants on demand. So Emma is here to tell us all about her business and how it caters to remote workers, and also particularly about how countries can better attract digital nomads and what are some of the things that they need to look out for and think about in the process. So welcome, Emma. Thank you so much for joining our podcast.
Thanks a lot, Rochelle. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So I'll turn it over to you now. I guess you can tell me better about yourself than I can ever tell our audience. So tell us a bit about your background and how you came to develop One Circle as a platform.
So I come with a very deep HR background. And so I worked in HR for more than 20 years and been an HR director in big organizations for a long time. But I always introduce myself as a recovered full-timer.
Yes.
So yeah, put that behind me 2 years ago. And we were working on One Circle, on the One Circle platform, setting it up. So it was for like 2 years in the making, and we went live in March 2020 this year, just in time for when the coronavirus hit the whole world by storm.
Timing, yeah.
In a way, yes. Yeah. So I'm originally Lebanese. I worked and lived most of my life in the Middle East and in the Gulf region. Worked in the Middle East and covered North Africa, pockets of Europe as part of my roles, and India, and some of the Far East. And now I'm the founder and the CEO of One Circle HR. One Circle is an online platform that connects businesses directly with HR consultants on demand and on project basis. So basically, we are digitizing the HR on demand. And it makes it just easier for businesses to reach out to those specialist hands-on HR professionals as and when they need help on any of their projects, remote work transition, change management, and HR transformation. So this is basically what we do. From the time that we went live, we've grew our talent base up to 500, almost now 500 consultants from 48 different countries.
That's
Yes, and it all goes back to what you are always talking about, is that remote working revolution. And today, and people have realized this for a while, but it had always that stigma that if you are working remotely or you're working independently, it could be maybe because you can't find a job. But recently, this whole experiment that everybody went through, this is when people actually realized that if I'm a specialist and I'm professional and in my area of expertise, why to limit myself to my geographical location? Because I can literally offer my expertise online and virtually to businesses that are present anywhere around the world. And then I can work on projects globally, and that is the beauty of it. So that switch that happened in the minds of people, of talent, but as well of businesses. That was the catalyst of this whole crisis that we went through.
That's
in addition to a lot of other things, of course.
That's really amazing, and it always made me question when I hear a lot of companies over the recent years saying we're really struggling to find talent, we really have a war for talent.
Yes.
I often wondered if it was that they had a very limited talent scope in terms of where they were trying to source talent. And as you said, now you're in this world where you're working remotely and you have access to people all across the globe. So it's really about widening that talent lens. So yeah, that's amazing what you're doing. But how did you come up with the idea in the first place? Why did you decide to embark on this?
So look, there's several factors. There's the personal and the professional bit, or the two sides of it. From the professional side, being an ex HR director with a big team, and then wanting to support the business. There's always that new project or new scope of work where you don't have expertise within your team. And this is where you start looking, okay, how can I get help and to support my team so we can deliver on this project. And this is where the easiest way usually is to go to one of the big consulting companies, and then you end up paying a lot of a lot of money for that eats up your budget. But at the same time, and those consultants are more on the theoretical side, so most of them haven't done the work themselves. So they'll be able to support you on high level thinking, strategy. But when it comes to actual implementation, knowing your own limitations on the inside, it's difficult actually to translate it and for your team to run with it. You would want people who have done this before, who are hands-on, who were held accountable in businesses before. And that was my thinking, is how can I find independent consultants or freelance HR consultants who can help me and my team out, but with a limited risk. So which means if they are vetted early ahead of time to save my time. If I can see referrals from other clients that they have worked with, or a rating, and maybe with a safe payment to process where you only pay when you see results. And this was the whole idea of how One Circle came into play, because that's exactly what we do. And so honestly speaking, it came as an idea because I needed it myself. And speaking to other people within my network, everybody was just saying the same, because at some point you feel like your budgets are limited when it comes to consulting or to supporting your team. But as well, you don't want to finish it all on one particular project, just for the big brand name. So that was the professional aspect. The personal aspect is that I'm a mom of 3. So I do have 3 kids, 2 teenage boys and a little girl.
All of you.
Thank you. And I always struggle to maintain balance in my life. So being employed full time, and especially in HR, you're like plugged in all the time. You know, like there's no off time for you. You're always on. And I was thinking, if I'm able to, work on projects with clients without having to go through the full-time employment, that will be really amazing as well, and as an option for me. But I couldn't find the right platform to help me out that is niche from an HR scope perspective. So yeah, that's both sides of the story, basically.
I love that mindset. I love how you took this approach as, I can't find this platform that's suited to me, so I'm going to build my own.
I'm going to build it,
That's a lot of gumption right there. That's amazing.
Exactly. It just felt right, because when you go through the experience yourself and you connect with people who are living through that same experience, you just know that this is it. What could be better research than that? They tell you need to research for your startup. What could be better research than you being in a network of HR professionals and senior people, that everybody is talking about the same thing. We are tired of paying a lot of money for vanilla solutions. We need hands-on solutions.
I love that. Vanilla solutions. That might be my new catchphrase.
That will be the title of our podcast.
Vanilla solutions. So, you know, a lot of this attention on remote working has also gone from the company level to the country level, because there are a lot of countries that have really suffered because of COVID-19. Those countries that are very dependent on tourism and so forth. So a lot of companies now are trying to encourage their individuals, their organizations and so forth to facilitate remote working. But on top of that, they're also trying to attract remote workers and digital nomads to work in their vicinities. And, you know, my background is I'm from Barbados and the Caribbean, and these are very tourist dependent states. So there's, when I think of your platform, I'm thinking in a country like Barbados and the Caribbean, where there's been a lot more inquiries around, well, how can we become digital nomads? How can we work online and so forth? What would you say are some of the barriers and challenges to, let's say, hiring international talent via these platforms, or having, or some countries trying to work through these platforms? What have you seen as some of the challenges?
So the challenge with such platforms is that you don't get a constant flow of business through one platform.
Yeah.
Because it's a marketplace, right? So you always, as a platform, you're always trying to balance the supply and the demand. And most of the time, because of the attractiveness of it from a lifestyle perspective, you get a lot of supply, but the demand is limited. Because the demand depends on the maturity of businesses to hire remote workers or to leverage on independent contractors or on freelancers. So then if I'm a remote worker, or in this context, if I'm an independent contractor and a freelancer, it's difficult for me to manage the revenue that I'm getting on a monthly basis, to think that I want to go live anywhere around the world. I might as well live in Barbados on the beach, enjoy my time, and have the quality of life that I've always dreamt of, but while I'm working and earning. So what's happening is that this is a great move from countries and places like Barbados, whereby they said, look, if this is a remote work revolution and it's an open talent market that we are experiencing today, which means if it's an open talent market, as a talent, you can just be anywhere and work from anywhere. Why not come and work here? Now, as a government or as countries, I would say helping platforms like OneCircle, Business Talent Group, MBO partners, TopTal, etc. All of those platforms, Upwork. So all of those platforms, that some of them are just consulting platforms, others are for smaller gigs, and others like OneCircle, we are niche HR. So helping those platforms from a country and government perspective to strengthen their message, and to ensure that, look, as companies, that we are supporting those platforms and you can leverage on the talent. So in a way, you feel like you are creating an ecosystem. Right? So you've got the platforms that you are supporting in order to grow. And in order for those platforms to reach out to as many people as possible and to as many businesses as possible, in order to guarantee that influx of projects, that the talent that is sitting on Barbados will be able, for example, to have more peace of mind knowing that there are enough projects for me out there. If I'm good enough, if I'm professional enough, if I deliver on time, if I build a great reputation online on those platforms, then definitely I'll be getting the income and the revenue.
Yeah.
So that this whole shift towards governments embracing this new way of working is amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's just so feasible today and so easy. There is still that intermediary that comes in. The intermediary is between the businesses and the talent.
Yeah.
So and that intermediary requires support.
Yeah.
And this is where I feel there's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because the opportunity is a lot of governments or entities or organizations, they look at those platforms as individual privately owned businesses, right?
Yeah.
But as a matter of fact, we are catalysts. We enable people. We are enabling organizations.
Yeah.
So the more support we get as platforms, the better we'll be able to connect both on a professional technology platform that reduces risk between two parties and that builds a trust.
Yeah.
Because you need that intermediary to build the trust between the client and the consultant or the talent. And that trust comes through the ratings, the quality of the talent that is joining that platform.
Yeah.
All of the verification and validation that those are real people, their identity are validated, their references are checked, their bank accounts are checked. They've been checked against anti-money laundering lists and fraud lists. But as well, the most important thing is that you know that they can deliver on the work and on the project.
Yeah.
So, for example, a platform like OneCircle, we offer escrow payment service, which means as a business today, you engage with a consultant, you give them a project to work on. But even though you have paid your fees, but the fees are held by OneCircle until the consultant delivers on the project fully and you are happy.
Oh, okay.
And only then we will release the funds. And this is when I talk about building trust.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But then again, so it's a full ecosystem, to go back to your point.
Yeah.
Providing a location that is amazing and very attractive is one thing. But enabling those people to have more assurance that there's going to be an influx of projects to help sustain their lifestyle, that's a completely new and different game, right?
Yeah. And it really goes two directions, because on one hand, you said about providing that attractive environment that speaks to trying to get remote workers to that spot, but at the same time, it's also about enabling your people locally to also take advantage of those platforms.
Yes, exactly. So, which means that as well, local talent will be able to leverage on those platforms to work on international projects. So it's not only bringing talent in, but it's your local talent that is sort of. I always like to use this because that's exactly, it's part of our vision. Is that you're bringing those international opportunities and global opportunities closer to where the people are, right? Because you're providing them access, you're opening doors for them. And right where they are, they can just work and earn. And that's the beauty of it.
And I love the knowledge exchange as well. There's so many other socio-economic advantages in there, let's put it that way. But from the social side, if you look at the opportunity to gain that cross-cultural knowledge from working more globally, and also just the knowledge exchange between those working on the platforms with those working internationally. But on the other side, when you're attracting remote workers to your location, the ability to actually have them integrated into the society as well. So there's a real, as you said, it's a complete ecosystem and kind of larger shift rather than just accommodating remote working.
one of the things, and I think we were discussing this offline. I just remember this now.
Yeah.
Is that when you're attracting remote workers into your location, you're infusing freshness of thinking and new talent into the local talent market.
Yeah.
Which means if you are able to as well build up smaller communities, like within Barbados, for example, smaller HR communities or digital communities, etc., where the remote workers that are there can actually network and transfer knowledge to the local talent that is there. So this is where you take it to a completely new level, which is, okay, we're a location for remote workers. We support platforms in order to ensure that the remote workers as well get projects, but as well we are helping them network to plug in with the local talent to transfer knowledge and to learn from each other. So there's the opportunities are like limitless. It's so wild when you start thinking about it. It's amazing.
It's quite exciting. It really is very exciting to have that opportunity to just interact with anyone from across the globe. So what would you say to, let's say I'm a member of the government, let's say a minister or so forth, and I am looking to engage your platform so we can leverage some of those benefits that you talk about with regards to that integration, getting the messaging out there and making sure people can smoothly use these sites and also trust them. Where do I start? Where does that interaction with myself and as a person that wants to use your platform for this purpose and yourself as the CEO, how do we work together to start putting some of those steps in place that would allow us to achieve those benefits? What would be some of the things to do?
From a government perspective, it's bringing it's supporting those upcoming platforms or already set platforms as a full network, offering to local businesses, but as well to support them globally and internationally, right? So for sure, there will be a lot of vetting that will be happening to ensure credibility and build the trust with the government itself. But as well that whole taking this new way of working and a new way of thinking one step further, and basically embracing it and embracing the platform. So the discussions definitely can start around building trust with the government and building a plan together in order to attract more talent, but as well to attract businesses and building that level of trust so we can have a continuous influx of projects to for the talent to sustain themselves. And then repackaging this whole this whole adventure, I would say. Because sometimes we forget that as an independent contractor or remote worker or a freelancer, for you to uproot and pack your bag and leave and go to Barbados, you might still want to keep that apartment in your home country. You still have a family or extended family back there where you need to support them financially. You still have expenses that you need to take care of. And you want to ensure that you've got that steady revenue and income. And this is where the platforms come into play.
Yeah, that's really true. It is very interesting that it's kind of like this public-private sector interaction and strategic planning, where there are benefits for both of you, not just the platform, not just for the government, but if also you think of in countries like Barbados and the Caribbean again, where so many people have been laid off because of the virus, where you get that partnership and that encouragement and support for the platform, that you're providing a way for those people to generate income within a context that jobs are very few in the local environment. they have this additional opportunity digitally, but it has to be supported and facilitated through that partnership.
Yes. So if I want to put it more in promotional context,
yeah,
it's Barbados going out to the world and saying, and that's in the One Circle context.
mm.
You want the right level of expertise and professionalism and hands-on experience when it comes to HR consultants or HR transformation, change management, leadership learning, digital learning, etc. Then we've got the right people for you that are here in Barbados, living, working, enjoying from anywhere around the world. So they came with their global experience, and we are. And we proudly say that they are part of this particular platform that we have full trust in, and let us help you. So you see, it became more of a full-on a message with that is not only a lifestyle message, but it's an opportunity message.
Yeah.
And something that I always think about is that, and funny enough, we talk about it from a company perspective, but we never think about it from a individual lifestyle perspective.
Yeah.
You know, as being an employee in a company, we always say that if you are happy where you're working and you're a good culture fit, whatever that is, but if you're a good culture fit and you are happy where you are working, then your engagement will be higher, which means that your productivity will be higher, which means the quality of your work will be higher.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that if I'm enjoying that whole vibe of the Caribbean and enjoying my lifestyle, getting so much sun, happiness, I'm like, this is living my dream. And at the same time, I'm working on that project that is really exciting me. Assuming I do have the skills and expertise, of course.
Yeah.
Then you can imagine the quality of work that I'm going to put out there, right?
Yeah.
So this is like taking the whole idea of happiness and engagement at work to a completely different level of happiness and engagement in your own lifestyle. And how this will impact your productivity and the quality of work that you put out there.
Yeah.
And I feel that we are still not there yet in terms of thinking. And this is where I hope. So if you ask me what I hope to achieve is that we start thinking this way, that if I'm engaging with a freelancer or independent contractor, I'd rather have them living on one of the islands having fun and enjoying, because I know they're like, they're like so motivated and happy and they're putting out great work out there, than being in a room that is 2x3 facing a wall and working, just crunching work because they need to get it done.
Yeah.
And hopefully we will get there the one day.
Yeah, you made me homesick. You were talking about all that sunshine and sea, and I was like, oh, I need to take a flight now. Yeah, it also makes me think of as well, when we did the research, when we spoke to a lot of digital nomads, a lot of them said, just one guy, for example, in Jamaica, he said he was in this hotel where he was on a balcony and he was working with a view of the ocean. And he said just having that view there just opened him up to be more creative and just freed his mind and lifted so much that his mindset when he was working, he said he could have worked all day from that spot. So
yes, exactly. And this is when we talk about this marriage between the government and how they are actually packaging the location and the private sector that is providing the opportunities. That marriage is an amazing combination, because it's all to the benefit of the businesses that are open enough to leverage on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. What would you say about those persons that are worried about these platforms possibly taking advantage of workers? Because that's been a hot topic in the news in terms of persons working on platforms and that driving down costs and those sort of things. What would you do, let's say, or I don't know if you've had the experience with certain countries or having that partnership with governments where they might have expressed concern for, I don't know, those persons being taken advantage of through these platforms. What would you say to them?
Right. There is that bit when you think about how certain platforms operate, because it depends on their so that's the danger, because there's a lot of generalization, but it depends on the business model of the platform itself. So some platforms will actually push the profiles of the talent that have a certain level of membership, or are paying for additional points or credits, or etc. etc. Which contradicts the whole idea of transparency and quality of work and rating from other clients, etc. So for example, at One Circle, we have complete transparency. We actually don't do that. We don't charge a membership, neither for the client nor for the consultant. So the consultant does not need to pay a membership, and the client doesn't need to pay a membership. As well, one of the things that we made sure we do is that as clients, you negotiate directly with the consultant their fees. So as a client, you say, okay, this project for me is worth, let's say, $10,000, and this is my budget. And I advertise it on the One Circle platform as a $10,000 project. So then the consultants that motivate for this particular project, they know already that it's a $10,000 project. So they take on the project, they run with it, they finish it, they do the work. As a One Circle platform, we take only 15% out of the consultant fees. So on the 10,000, we release 8,500 to the consultant's account.
That's pretty good.
Yes. So and we do that because we're providing them with the technology platform, the collaboration workspace. We ensure that yes, exactly. So they don't have to do hard sales pitches or doing proposals, etc. We're providing them with the client base. So and we actually adopted this business model because we have seen what is happening on other platforms, etc. Then the consultant will need to take care of their own taxes and their own legal liabilities, which is quite normal, right? So I would say, look, it's like a necessary evil that you need those platforms that are out there to connect people globally. But as well, we want to make sure that we do it in the right way with the right spirit, because it's all about it's that whole spirit of benefiting everybody. And then if you're doing it right, with a clear transparency, then there are no surprises, right?
I totally agree. There's also, as you said, with that transparency and with the mindset that it's not just for the company's benefit, it's for the employees' benefit, and thinking about the employees' well-being, which is one of the things that really comes over about One Circle. So I like that you guys really, it's not just about making money, but you're really saying, well, how can we bring this client, this consultant, a good opportunity, and make sure that there's a good relationship and interaction in that process. So I think it's really good what you're doing.
Thank you.
We're just out of time, sorry, and you shared so much information with us, so I'm not surprised at all that the time just flew by. But of course, before we let you go, you have to tell us your funniest travel story.
Okay, you got me there. My funniest travel story is the one time I actually got attacked by a monkey.
Oh,
and I know in Barbados there are some monkeys, right? But in South Africa,
they can be quite aggressive,
and we were on a trip coming from Dubai to South Africa. So, and I think that was a season where the monkeys were really aggressive. And it was a time after, I think they've got like a sugar rush or something, and I was moving around holding my daughter's swimsuit, and it was very colorful, so they thought maybe that I'm carrying food, and I had 3 monkeys actually running after me.
3 monkeys. Did anybody get a picture? That's what's important. Is this
no picture. I was running like crazy, and then I slipped and I fell down, and my husband started chasing them. He he grabbed a broom from somebody's garage and started chasing the monkeys away. But the funny thing is that then the next day we had to travel back to Dubai on an 8-hour flight, economy flight.
Oh my goodness.
And I was fully bruised.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was fully bruised all the way from my face, the side, my hands, my legs, and I was sitting on the plane, and I kept on getting comments from the people on the plane and the stewardess, and then asking what happened. I'm like, I got attacked by a monkey. And then the next day when I went to work, everybody was asking, what is it? I was like, I got attacked by a monkey. They thought that I'm joking.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, right. What's the real story?
Yeah, what's the real story? I'm like, seriously, I got attacked by 3 monkeys, not even one monkey.
It's funny now. It's never funny at the time.
No, at the time it was like a nightmare, because and as I was running, I was thinking that I shouldn't be running, because you're not supposed to run. You're supposed to just, you know, but you can't help it, right? So I was running thinking that I should need to stop, but I can't stop because they're getting too close.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I learned my lesson.
Yeah, there's no winning there. Well, I'm glad you're okay
no winning.
now. I can't see any stars, so I'm
just thankful for my husband and the people who left their garage open with the broom.
Oh my goodness! Well, I'm glad it worked out. You're not bruised now, so good. No.
I recovered.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing that with us, and thank you for sharing so much on this episode. I know it's going to be very useful for our listeners, especially those who might work within government and want to think about how they can engage platforms. So we've been talking to Emma El-Karout from One Circle, founder and CEO of One Circle, which is an HR platform, a platform where you can hire HR consultants on demand. So thank you so much again, Emma, for sharing with us. Thank you to our listeners for joining us again. And this has been another episode of Remotely Speaking. See you. Take care, Emma.